Mikey Garcia versus Robert Easter Jr. Who wins? We get to that next. Please like and subscribe. Help us get to 1,000 subscribers. And leave a comment below. Let us know what you think. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome back to Tuesday Night Fights. Major unification bout plus a big-time heavyweight showdown. We give the official preview and predictions. Let's start with a 135-pound unification bout between IBF champ Robert Easter Jr. and WBC lightweight champ and pound-for-pound elite Mikey Garcia. Garcia is currently number 4 on our pound-for-pound list and is finally coming back down to his natural and we believe his best weight class, which is lightweight, 135 pounds. He has fought at 140 in his last 2 fights against Broner and then Sergey Lipinets. 2 excellent performances, but especially in the Lipinets fight, you can see Mikey was outsized and small for the weight class. Mikey is strong and carries a lot of power at 135, so it's going to be good to see him come back down to where he really belongs. We're a big advocate of everyone to just fight the best guys in their own weight class. You know, before you even consider moving up, clean out your own division. And that's what he's going to begin to attempt to do. You know, we've supported Mikey. We think Mikey's an excellent fighter, but he hasn't unified, right? He's been champions at 126, 130, 135, and briefly at 140 before he vacated, but he hasn't unified at all. So this will be good for him. Robert Easter Jr., a.k.a. the Easter Bunny, is a tall, rangy, 6-foot-tall, athletic junior welterweight. He's going to have to keep Mikey at a distance, keep his jab pumping in Garcia's face all night long. Easter is still undefeated, 21-0, 14 knockouts. However, he's gotten the benefit of a few controversial decisions. In each of his 3 world-class fights against world-class opposition, Easter has gotten the decision each of those times, but left some controversy. To be fair, we scored only the Richard Comey fight the other way. We scored the Comey fight narrowly for the Ghanaian. The Easter Bunny got a split not in that fight. You know, we thought Comey won, but we also thought there was a good chance that Comey was going to get robbed in that fight. If you go back and read our fight doctor from when we originally predicted that fight, we'd said Comey would win, would beat him up, but Easter would get a bogus decision, and I thought that was pretty accurate. But we did score both the Shafikov fight for Easter. Look, Easter beat Shafikov. He beat him. Okay, the scorecards were ridiculous. 2 of the scorecards were shutouts. Now, we scored at 116, 112. So that's the kind of fight. It was a close, competitive fight where there were a lot of close rounds. We kind of split the rounds. I mean, look, Easter won that fight. Did he win 120 to 108? No, the scorecards were atrocious, but the right guy won the fight at least. Yeah, the scorecards were ridiculous, but the decision went to the right guy. I've talked to people who said Shafikov won that fight. Shafikov didn't win that fight. He fought good. He brought the fight to him. It was an excellent fight. A lot tougher than we expected. Although Shafikov's a good fighter. Easter won that fight. And then in his last fight, this is the one that we're actually the outsiders of this one. I thought Easter did enough to eke out a very close decision with Fortuna. Most people, I would say probably 2/3 to 3/4 of the experts and pundits that I've heard, that I've spoken to, scored the fight for Fortuna. I can see getting to that decision. I just like the work rate of the Easter Bunny. I thought, he outlanded him, right? I mean, his jab wasn't particularly accurate, but it was effective. It was close. Again, this is a fight that could have gone either way. I would have had no problem had the fight been scored for Fortuna, who missed weight, by the way, but let's not get into that. But I scored it for Easter. And I thought the scorecards were very close. I had no problem with the scorecards. I wouldn't have had any problem if it would have gone that close the other way. It was that competitive of a fight. So the Fortuna fight was really close, really competitive. So how does this fight go between the two undefeated lightweight champions? Mikey Garcia is a near perfect fighter. You're going to see him time Easter's long jab, get inside of him, and go on the inside and outwork him on the inside. Mikey is going to be at an 8-inch reach disadvantage. That's going to be noticeable. and will give Mikey a bit of difficulty at times, especially in the early rounds. And Easter's going to grow a little confident. The first 3 rounds of this fight might be pretty even. But Mikey will get that timing down. He'll get inside that jab. He'll outbox him, and he will absolutely outwork him on the inside. Mikey's inside game is more polished, it's more finesse, and he's obviously more skilled, and he's more powerful. So he's going to win that fight on the inside. Mikey's kind of like when Andre Ward was at 168 or even at 175. He could fight in any way you wanted him to fight. So Mikey's going to win this fight on the inside. He's going to be... And inside is the most dangerous place for a fight to take place. You can get hit with literally any punch. And that's going to be Mikey's strong suit. But like we said and we said this we were on the Standing 8 podcast, which is one of the best live podcasts out there. This is going to be a real fight, right? So we're picking Mikey to win, but this is going to be competitive. Easter's going to win some rounds. He's going to make Mikey work. But at the end of the day, Mikey's too strong and too polished and too powerful. 135 is Mikey's best weight class. And again, he's an undefeated champion. He made a couple defenses. But which one has he looked impressive in? None of them really. So we think eventually Mikey times him, gets him on the inside, beats him up. We think he'll drop him a few times late in the fight. Let's say a 9th and 11th round knockdown. He'll really, really start to punish him a little bit late in the fight when Easter starts to break down. So I don't want to say coast to a decision because again, it'll be competitive, especially early, right? Easter's a real fighter. This is a real fight. This is not a gimme. This is not a tune-up. This is a legitimate fight. So we're going to say with the 2 knockdowns that we're projecting Mikey to score, we're going to have the scorecards coming at 108, 118 to 108, 119 to 107, and 117 to 109. So we're giving Easter a couple of rounds, probably 2 rounds, maybe 3 if you're generous. That's the type of fight we're looking at. It's going to be a fun but dominating performance by Mikey Garcia. On the undercard of this fight, we're real excited about that. Mario Barrios is on the undercard. He's one of our favorite prospects. He's 21-0, 12 knockouts. Yes, he's a Texas prospect out of San Antonio. He's a junior welterweight. You know how we love Texans around here. We love Texas and we love Texans, but that's certainly not the only reason to like Mario Barrios, who's 23 years old, fought back in March, destroyed a fighter named Yuri Bernardo in 2 rounds. His best name opponent right now is a veteran named Jose Luis Rodriguez. Rodriguez has been in the ring with guys like Pedraza and Verdejo, and he's lost all his step-up fights. He's never obviously beaten any of those guys. And then he got destroyed by Barrios as well. So he's kind of a stepping stone, gatekeeper, whatever you want to call him. We want to see Barrios against a better level of competition, as we think he's not that far off from a title shot at 140. But we aren't going to get that opportunity with Jose Luis Rodriguez. With this opponent named Jose Ramon. Barrios is fighting a guy named Jose Ramon, who's a tall but very limited lightweight. And this fight, remember, Ramon is a lightweight. And this fight is happening at 140. So he's going to be a little small, I suppose, for the size too. Now, Barrios has gone in between 135 and 140, but he hasn't fought at 135 since 2016. So making us think that he's moving forward at 140. Like that's, maybe like I said, he's 23. Maybe he's outgrown 135 and he can't make that anymore. But we haven't seen him at 135 in a couple of years now. So we're assuming from this point on, he's a junior welterweight until further notice. He's known as El Azteca. Pretty complete fighter, real good looking prospect. If you aren't familiar with him, check out his fight. I think you'll be more than impressed. He gets our nod of approval, not just as a tough Texan, but as a really, really complete prospect. And we expect him to be a world champion within, I would say, 2 years. Let's jump into the heavyweight fight. Leave your thoughts, comments below. Let us know what you think. If you're familiar with Barrios, if you haven't, we can link a fight in the description, or we'll put a link to one of his fights on our Twitter page if you're not familiar with Barrios. Really good fighter. Let us know what you think about Mikey. We're taking Mikey by wide decision. Do you think we're right with that? Do you think Mikey will knock him out? Do you think Easter can pull the upset? Leave your thoughts, comments, and below. Leave your thoughts, comments, opinions. Let us know what you think of our preview and prediction, leave that all below. Let's get right into the heavyweight fight between Dillian Whyte and Joseph Parker. If Deontay Wilder is called the windmill and criticized for being wild, well, what is Dillian Whyte, right? He's as wild as Wilder is. Yeah, he looked great against Lucas Brown. Parker is the better, more polished fighter, right? Like, Parker is way more skilled than Lucas Brown. He's a better boxer than Whyte, too, by the way. He's more skilled, much better defense, throws really nice combinations. Parker's a pretty good fighter. You know, I compare him to John Ruiz. Everyone's like, well, it's disrespectful. Well, John Ruiz was a decent fighter, too, right? But Parker's a good fighter. You know, Parker lost to AJ. We thought the fight was closer than they had scored. They scored it pretty one-sided. We thought it was real close going to the scorecards. We knew in the UK that decision was going to Joshua, but we thought the fight was competitive. And if the scorecard didn't go a lot closer, we would have been fine with that. So if AJ couldn't get to him and knock him out, if AJ couldn't even really hurt him, he was never really hurting them. There might have been one moment in the fight or so where Parker was a little bit on Queer Street, but he was never in any serious trouble. So if he can't get to him, and AJ is clearly a superior boxer to Dillian Whyte, if AJ couldn't hurt Whyte, if AJ couldn't hurt Parker, I can't see Whyte hurting Parker. I can't see Whyte landing that shot when he's at a tremendous skill deficit compared to Anthony Joshua. So what we're projecting is that every round's pretty much going to look the same. You'll be on your feet because you don't know what you're going to get with Whyte. He's a fun fighter, but I think Parker's going to outbox him. Parker's going to hit him with combinations, beat him from a distance, and get out of the way. I think Parker's a pretty underrated fighter, and I thought he lost the Hughie Fury fight. So I'm not some type of Parker fanboy or something like that. He's got a lot of skills. He's got more skills than this Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte's bigger and stronger and hits a lot harder, but I think Parker avoids him. Takes a pretty lopsided decision, fairly wide decision, probably around the margins of 116, 112, 117, 111. Dillian Whyte may win some rounds, outworking him on the inside here and there, landing a couple of shots. But I think ultimately it's going to be pretty one-sided. I think there's going to be a lot of holding. I don't think it's going to be an ultra fan-friendly fight like some people think. I think basically Parker's at a different level. I'm not hugely impressed with Dillian Whyte. I think he'll get knocked out by most top heavyweights. I don't think Parker will knock him out because Parker's not going to look for the knockout, but he will dominate him and win 8 or 9 rounds of this fight. So those are our official picks. Mikey by unanimous decision, Parker by unanimous decision, and we give the prospect of the night to watch. The prospect to watch is Mario Barrios. Keep an eye on him. Texas-based junior welterweight prospect out of San Antonio, undefeated prospect, really, really good offensive fighter. Please help us get to 1,000 subscribers. Hit the like and subscribe button. Leave a comment. Leave your predictions below. Let us know what you think of ours. But Tuesday Night Fights, this is 3D Boxing signing off. Thank you, and God bless.
Enjoy 3D Boxing vlog videos? Show us some love by clicking the like button. Don't miss a tweet, post, story, or video. 3dboxingvlog.com is also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hit the subscribe button now to stay inside the ring.